So the award for the longest Netflix series title goes to The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. It stars Kristen Bell and feels very familiar. So should you be binging it? For Heartbroken Anna, every day is the same. She sits with her wine, staring out the window, watching her life go by without her. But when a handsome neighbor and his adorable daughter move in across the street, Anna starts to see a light at the end of the tunnel. That is, until she witnesses a gruesome murder. Or did she? Okay, so we just recently had a Netflix movie called The Woman in the Window with Amy Adams that was an already familiar story. And I know that one was met with mixed reactions, and then given the fact that it came out less than a year ago, I was a bit baffled at why this series now even exists. This new iteration of the unreliable narrator believing that they witness a crime but no one believes them is touted as a dark comedy satire of that genre. But does it really work? Kristen Bell is wonderful in this. I mean, if you've seen her in anything, including commercials or even interviews with her family, she's very quick-witted with a great sense of comedic timing. And she can also do drama and mystery, so she seems like a natural fit here. As Anna, she's a sad and depressed woman who drinks just so much wine. I mean, it is crazy the amount that she drinks and is still be able to be upright. But I guess that's why she sits in a chair most of the time. I like the premise of this because I like the premise of all of these within this genre. A mystery ensues, but can we as the audience be too certain if what we witnessed through Anna's eyes actually happened, because there are other visuals we see that can cause some doubt. In addition to Anna's incredible drinking prowess, the story introduces a few complications to her character, which I really liked. I mean, they are given backing so that they make sense within the narrative, and then they're also used in the right moments to continue the mystery and then add some tension. As the show plays out and Anna gets more involved in the mystery that she believes occurred, the show twists and turns and becomes a pretty decent puzzle. The supporting cast works off Kristen Bell in great ways to cast more doubt on pretty much everything she says and sees. And I love that we don't know if she's being gaslit by everyone else, which means that we're in the same boat because we see everything from her point of view. And the reality of Anna being an unreliable narrator, I think is established well, but there's still enough lingering doubt that we don't totally discount her. For the dark comedy portion of this story, which I think is supposed to complement the presumed satire, it didn't work at all for me. I mean, I didn't laugh when something very shocking is brought up, and then I actually had to pause the show in disbelief. I mean, I was like, wait, did they just say that? Did that really happen, or is this part of some twisted or wrong memory? The dialogue in the scene was actually very unfunny, and then I found it distasteful. And I know it was so outrageous that it was meant to be poking fun in a way at this genre, but what is said is not something that is anywhere close to being even humorous. I mean, even in the most sarcastic tone. And then additional dialogue readdresses this in another episode, reaffirming how unfunny and inappropriate the idea was. And this is where the show feels off. I mean, I loved the mystery aspect all the way through. There are multiple times that I believed I had it figured out because a lot of it is just so obvious. But then I'm proved wrong, which reinvested me in the intrigue because I wanted to figure out if Anna really witnessed something, and then if so, who was the perpetrator. But the show feels a bit disjointed or even has an identity crisis in its tone and theme. It's like they didn't know if it wanted to fully embrace the mystery, dark comedy, or satire genre, but the mixture just didn't click with me at all. It came across like the show was confused at what it was, and then that invaded the portions that were really working. I think had this gone for straight mystery, even though this is a massive rehashing of storylines that we've already seen, it could be a great one because I loved that portion of the ride. And the suspense, misdirection, and the doubts, they all work to craft a surprising did they or didn't they whodunit. It's all the other elements that are thrown in that make the show weaker. We have a police detective who is smart and even compassionate, but comes across a bit goofy, making her seem more like an idiot. There's a neighbor who is a busybody and gossip, but she only shows up for some extreme sequences. And then there's even this random dude who shows up in the middle of the show to sort of raise suspicions, but his character is just weirdly crafted. I mean, he's like the ultimate sensitive tough guy, but I never really bought the tough guy part. This is a really quick binge with 8 episodes that are each under 30 minutes. And I think that even if the confused satire and the comedy portion of the series doesn't click with you, the mystery certainly can engage and then have you trying to figure out the truth. From a technical aspect, this is carried out really well. The production obscures what we can see in just the right ways, but then will also show us portions in great detail, so when those two are combined, we're not sure if what we witnessed was real or a fantasy brought on by Anna's consumption of massive amounts of wine. So overall, this series works from a mystery perspective. When that intrigue is kept as the central focus, allowing for misdirection, gaslighting, and red herrings, the storytelling is very compelling and engaging. Unfortunately, though, this is derailed by an identity crisis within the tone of the series. The satire, dark comedy, and attempts at spoofing the genre often misfire, creating a style that doesn't really know what it is or wants to be. Kristen Bell is fabulous, and I am fully in on her character, especially because her flaws make her relatable to a degree. There's great tension that is created by the suspense of the narrative, and then I enjoyed the mounting sense of urgency that it brings. If you're up for giving this a try, ignore the attempts at satire and spoofing and just dive headlong into the mystery. It's enjoyable, twisting, and executed in a way that had me guessing the entire time. There's sex, some nudity, a ton of profanity, and some pretty brutal violence. I give The Woman in the House Across from the Girl in the Window 3.5 out of 5 couches. Whew, what a title. I would love to hear what you think about this mystery when you see it. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.